Hello, Leslie. Thank you for joining me here on Unleashing Light. I am honored to have you. Leslie is a stroke survivor from New Jersey, and she's here to just tell us a little bit about her story and shine some light for others that are also surviving stroke. So, Leslie, if you just want to say a few things about yourself, that would be great.
Okay. I'm Leslie. I'm a yoga teacher for 22 years. I'm a life and health coach. I graduated in 2009 from school, and I like to help people.
Wonderful. So you are in your 60s and you had this stroke just before COVID. So it was kind of two extremely new challenges for you, but you have managed to keep teaching yoga and stay strong and help others. So tell us a little bit about your journey and how you've been able to do that.
I started teaching pretty much right after I had the stroke. I used to teach a Monday night class at my house, and my students would come to our rehab, and they would take class with me, would put a sign on the door, and the sign would say, meditation in progress, student serve. And I was able to teach like 10 of my students in a wheelchair and whatever, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay, right. And you mentioned the wheelchair. So one of the biggest goals you have right now is to get back to walking. You've told me that you've just been this very independent person for such a long time. And one of the things that was difficult in this process was to have patience for yourself. So talk to me a little bit about what you learned in terms of patience.
What I learned about patience is that I needed to do my own yoga.
What does that mean for people who aren't familiar with yoga? What does it mean for you to do your own yoga?
I needed to do the breathing.
Mhm.
I needed to add meditation into my world
Mhm.
and ask for patience.
Mhm. And how did the breathing and meditation help you?
It calmed me down.
Yeah.
It was like something that I lived so long, and it calmed me down.
Okay. And do you notice that also happening for some of the stroke survivors coming to your classes, that they're having that same experience?
They tell me they are.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Like yesterday, I teach every Friday, and yesterday one of the students said, "Oh, thank you for this. It's relaxed me so much."
Hmm.
Doesn't mean I don't work them hard.
Yeah.
It just
Good for you.
means that I can balance it.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. And so you also mentioned when we had talked previously about compassion and how that's been really a major important piece in your own healing. So talk to me about the people you found to be the most compassionate to you and how that impacted you personally.
Okay. When you surround by compassion, you are more compassionate with yourself as well. And like my sister calls me almost every day, or I call her, and we talk. And sometimes she says, "I don't know what to tell you." I said, "Think of what I want to hear. Think about how I feel."
Mhm. And is
And
she
then,
receptive to that? And can she then?
yeah, she's good about it. And she says, "Oh, I'm so proud of you."
Mm.
And you know, as a survivor, you need to hear that.
And are you proud of you?
Most days,
Mhm. And so on the days where there is that real struggle, when you're not feeling proud or productive or whatever it may be, motivated, what keeps you going?
I talked to a friend who's a survivor,
Mhm.
and they say, we all have days like that. And then I say, well, people that do not have a stroke also has days like that. So I put myself in the old Leslie and
Mhm.
do the best I can.
Yeah. So
What
tell me a little bit about the old Leslie and the current Leslie. And, you know, there's obviously some loss of your old sense of self, but tell me a little bit about that loss and then maybe some new purpose you found in this new Leslie.
um, the old Leslie worked really hard all the time.
Mhm.
And now I work hard and I do a lot of different things. But I also found that I also have to do things that I want to do
Mhm.
that feed my soul.
Yeah. And were you not, was the old Leslie not doing the things that fed her soul?
Nope.
Okay, so it took the stroke for you to really love yourself that much and take time for yourself and slow down.
To give myself self-love. Yeah.
Yeah. And so what are the things that feed your soul?
Um, things that feed my soul. Friendship,
Mhm.
communication. Um, I love to take classes. Like right now, I'm taking a year of miracles with Dr. Sue and um, a couple other people, and it's to promote what you want in your life and taking classes. I love to learn.
Okay.
I
So,
did before and I do now.
okay. And does that provide you with inspiration or like what happens when you're learning something new?
Inspiration. I am inspired.
Mhm.
Um, whatever I learn, I test my students.
Mm.
That helps me help them.
Yeah. And we know with anything that happens with the brain, anytime we learn something new, that's creating new neural pathways in our brain. So essentially, it's helping you heal in ways maybe we don't even realize you're healing, but it is creating healing for you.
It is.
Yeah. So what are some of the new things that you've taken time to learn that have been feeding your soul and helping you to be more fulfilled?
I took some business classes
Mhm.
um, to promote my business. I I just joined a company that sells a product that is helps your brain function and everything. And I tried to learn everything I could about the product.
Mhm. Great. And that provided you some joy and inspiration.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I can inspire others.
Mhm. And so with COVID, obviously knowing that friendships and communication and talking is so important to you, and then to have COVID happen during this whole situation, how did you cope with that isolation and people not being able to maybe come over as much as they could? What was that experience like for you?
It was, it wasn't as hard in the beginning when the whole world was closed down.
Mhm,
Then I said, okay, well, everybody's in this situation.
mhm,
But once we started coming out and being able to do things with other people, then it became harder.
yeah. Because they were moving forward and being able to do things, and maybe there was still more confinement and limitations in that process for you. Is that fair to say? Or
That's absolutely true.
yeah. And so what did that feel like when people kind of went on with their lives and you were kind of like, well, I'm still here and I can't move on that quickly? How have you been able to cope, or what have you done to keep you moving through that process?
I still do physical therapy
Hmm.
and I take a class.
Okay, great. And so, what do you want people who have not had an experience or an injury of the brain, something like a stroke or a brain injury or any other type of thing that can affect someone in this way, because compassion seems to be so healing for you and helpful? What do you want people to know that haven't been through something like this?
People should not judge you,
Mhm.
but people should not say, well, why aren't you walking? Why aren't you doing this? And you don't know how hard it is some days,
Did people say those things to you?
sometimes.
And how do you respond to that?
I'm like how it is. Have a stroke, see how good you feel.
Mhm. Yeah. So maybe just having them have compassion when you can't do something, that it's
Yeah,
just not that easy, and that some of the things that we find so easy, walking to another room or walking to the mailbox, is an extraordinary difficult process that
it is.
we can take for granted when we're able to do it and haven't been injured in this way.
You know, even like if you walk outside,
Mhm,
I like to have somebody close to me,
mhm,
but people, you don't realize like how uneven the pavement is.
mhm.
You don't realize that there's cracks in the sidewalk, and you never think about that.
Yeah. Yeah, things that are just not even in our awareness when we haven't had something happen with our brain, and then we have something with our brain and it's working so hard that it's picking up all these tiny things that now we have to process and work so much harder to accomplish, when before it was just like a breeze. You even think twice
Yeah,
about it.
exactly.
Yeah. And so for some of the people that have just had a stroke, what is your advice or guidance to them?
Take a day at a time,
Mhm,
celebrate your milestones,
mhm.
and don't beat yourself up.
Mhm. That they're going to get there.
Yeah, it's not where they want to be, they'll get there in a different way.
Mhm. Yeah, and everybody's got their own way. It's
Yeah,
never really the same. So,
exactly.
so for people that are looking to maybe get some yoga or meditation or breath work, how can they find you? Is there a website or an email? How would they maybe sign up for some of your classes?
Okay, they can find me on Facebook.
Under Leslie Hadley?
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, Leslie J. Hadley at gmail.com.
Okay.
I took down the website during COVID.
Oh, okay. All right. But they can email you or they can find you on Facebook.
Yeah,
And are any of the classes online or are they just in person?
no, they're all on Zoom.
They're all on Zoom, so anybody anywhere can access it.
Yeah, I have people in Canada, I have people in the UK,
Wonderful.
people in California.
Yeah, so what a beautiful gift that you can give to other people, because is there that many people that offer yoga classes to stroke survivors?
No, there's not. I don't know of any.
Wow. And is it all, I mean, are there varying abilities? Is it just chair yoga? How are the classes designed?
It's chair yoga.
Mhm,
I do the class with them. I demonstrate so
mhm.
they can do it. And I give them modifications.
Great. Okay, so anybody to any varying degree could participate.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your next biggest goal for yourself?
I want to walk.
Mhm.
I broke my hip 2 years ago, and so I'm afraid of falling. So I want to walk
Mhm.
without fear,
Mhm.
and that's a big goal.
Mhm.
But
It sounds like you do walk with some assistance from like the physical therapist. So with that, that is happening.
it is. But it's. I'm not. I'm still fearful.
Okay. So that's a great piece, right? Because fear is an interesting little thing that lives inside of us, right?
Yes.
So, how do you get past the fear of anything that's involved in this, or even prior to having the injury? How did you get past fear in your life?
Before the stroke, I just did it.
Tell me more about that.
Okay. I did whatever I could do to help my daughter, help myself,
Mhm.
and grow.
Mhm.
After I broke my hip, but it was like, oh my gosh, it was the worst pain than childbirth.
Mm.
And I had to overcome it.
Mhm. And you did you?
I, that's why I'm seeing the neurotherapist.
Okay, the neurotherapist is helping with that because of both the broken hip and the stroke.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. So, what did they say about the fear piece?
she says it's good to have a little fear,
Mhm.
but she says it's also good to imagine just doing it.
Mhm. Yeah, a little bit of fear is going to keep you safe in terms of like making sure you're protecting yourself. So
Exactly.
we have that part. Is there any part of the fear that you're holding that you're ready to let go of today?
I'm ready to let go of total fear.
Okay. Well, that's pretty amazing. And so if you're ready to let go of all of it except for the little piece that can keep us safe, what does that mean for you?
It means that I'm going to move forward.
Absolutely. Right. And that's what it means for everyone when we can release the fear, that the block is then removed for us and we can move forward. Whatever
Yeah,
pace that is, we can move forward.
yeah.
Yeah. So I am excited to hear from today moving forward what that journey is like for you.
We'll let you know.
I would love for you to let me know. So
Good.
I just want to thank you so much, Leslie, for sharing this story, for having the bravery and the courage to keep going, to keep moving forward, and even on the hard days, helping other people. It is such a beautiful gift when we can be in so much pain ourselves and still find the ability to show up and help other people and be compassionate to other people.
It makes me happy.
Mm.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Any last words, Leslie, that you want to say before we wrap up?
No, just like if you have a problem, celebrate every step
Mhm.
you take.
Yeah. Celebrate even the problems, even when it's not going good. Keep celebrating and keep going.
Yes.
I love that. So, well, thank you so much. I hope that you continue to brighten the days and lives of other people and keep showing up for yourself and for others, and that people find their way to you.
Hope so.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, welcome, welcome. Have a blessed day, Leslie.